It's now 6:59 on this Thursday morning. High temperature on Wednesday was 31 degrees. That came at 11:59 p.m. last night. 3 below the normal high for the 28th of September. 1 above last year's high. Low temperature of 27 degrees came at 3:51 a.m. 1 above the normal low. 2 below last year's low. Average temperature on Wednesday was 29 degrees. That's 1 below normal. 1 below last year. Highest gust of wind from the east at 36 miles an hour. The last Thursday in September is known as World Maritime Day. September 29th, also known as Silent Movie Night. International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste Reduction. It's National Biscotti Day. It's National Coffee Day. Good morning, it's 7 o'clock, and you're listening to KBRW. 680 AM in Barrow, Atchison and Wainwright, 91.9 FM in Barrow, 88.1 FM in Coctowick, Norks and Point Lay, 101.5 FM in Point Hope and Anaktuvik Pass, and worldwide at kbrw.org. Community radio for the North Slope, broadcasting from the top of the world, Barrow, Alaska. Thursday, September 29th, the 272nd day of 2022, the short-term forecast for the northern Arctic coast. Cloudy with areas of fog and freezing fog, a high near 34, northeast winds 20 to 25 miles an hour. Cloudy tonight, 30% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, low around 29, north winds around 20 miles an hour. Friday, cloudy with a 40% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, high near 32, north winds around 20 miles an hour. We're still at 31 degrees, east winds at 21 miles an hour, the wind chill at 19, the barometer's down slightly to 29.78.
While the eyes of the nation are on Hurricane Ian and the damage it's inflicting on Florida, Senator Lisa Murkowski says the people of western Alaska should not be forgotten as they clean up from the storm that struck nearly 2 weeks ago. She, Senator Dan Sullivan, and Congresswoman Mary Peltola have joined Governor Mike Dunleavy to request a waiver of the state's share of the disaster costs for the first month.
I'm desperately hopeful that the administration hears us on that, because for us right now, it's this immediacy of time to get things pulled back together as fully as we possibly can.
The federal government typically pays for 75% of eligible disaster costs. Murkowski, in a speech on the Senate floor yesterday, said the storm damage in Alaska may not be as visible as that in Puerto Rico and Florida, but people lost winter food stores, and freeze-up will soon make it much harder to bring in fuel and supplies to repair their homes. In other news, the state health department sent out its last COVID-19 data summary yesterday via email and social media. It marks a shift from focusing on case counts to tracking broader trends across the state. The department will continue to send its weekly COVID and flu update on Fridays. Alaska's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Ann Zink, says those updates will still include COVID case counts.
But we try to put that into a larger context where we also talk about how many people show up in the emergency department for COVID-like illness, how many people are showing up in the emergency department for influenza-like illness.
Wednesday's data summary reported 34 hospitalizations and 546 resident cases in the last week. Zink says it's become harder to track case numbers as home tests have become more popular. Those results don't always get reported to the state.
It's become increasingly problematic as we have so many more home testing, and why we need to use it in combination with other data sources to give Alaskans the best sense that they can of kind of the overall transmission and respiratory illnesses in their community at any given time.
Zink says there are important differences between COVID and the flu to keep in mind when it comes to risk level. Older Alaskans are still at the highest risk for severe illness and death due to COVID, while flu carries increased risk for both the very young and the very old.
People should consider getting flu vaccines now, anyone 6 months and older, particularly the young and the old, or honestly people who interact with the young and the old, which is a lot of us.
The bivalent COVID booster, which teaches the immune system to fight both the original COVID strain and the Omicron variant, has been available for about 2 weeks. Health officials say it's safe to get the booster and the flu vaccine at the same time. Zink says she recommends getting a flu shot by the end of October. This is Alaska Public Media.
The Alaska Morning News is brought to you in part by
Northern Air Cargo, providing cargo transportation to 9 Alaska communities. NAC offers options including cargo charters to get freight where it needs to be. Northern Air Cargo, serving Alaska since 1956.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Procter & Gamble, maker of Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive is designed to reduce occasional nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort in hands or feet. Learn more at nervivehealth.com.
The morning edition on KBRW is brought to you in part by Aztec, the Arctic Slope Telephone Association Cooperative. Now, time for the KBRW Morning Report.
Good morning. It's 7:08 on this Thursday, September 29th. The story comes from James Brooks of the Alaska Beacon. This year's vote on an Alaska Constitutional Convention has the potential to influence the availability of abortion here, the future of the permanent fund dividend, and dozens of contentious issues on a variety of subjects. Despite the importance of the upcoming vote, political donors have thus far stayed away. According to the latest available campaign finance reports, groups advocating a convention and those opposing it have raised less than $1 million combined. While observers suggest that figure will rise in the remaining 6 weeks before the election, it's an unusually low number. Matt Shuckero, a spokesperson for the leading Vote No group, Defend Our Constitution, said, "I think relatively speaking it's not a significant amount in comparison to other races and what we've seen in our history. It's less than has been raised by each of the 3 leading candidates for governor this year. It's also less than what the leading candidates for U.S. House and Senate have received from donors, and it's far less than the $14 million spent on the 2018 Clean Water ballot measure or the $25 million spent on the failed 2020 oil tax initiative, both of which had significant statewide implications. More than 95% of this year's spending disclosed so far has come on the Vote No side of the Constitutional Convention issue. Defend Our Constitution raised $835,163 through September 21st, according to a disclosure report. Protect Our Rights, another Vote No group, reported raising $76,508 through September 13th. The leading Vote Yes group, Convention Yes, hasn't filed a disclosure report. The group's treasurer did not return calls or emails seeking comment for this article, but the group told the Anchorage Daily News that it has raised less than $10,000. Alaska Family Action, a group advocating restrictions on abortion, has raised $11,400 through September 25th, with most of that figure spent on the convention question. State law requires reports on group expenses every 10 days. In the 6 weeks that Convention Yes has existed, it has not filed a report. In that time, it has set up a website and released a video outlining its position. That video lists Jesse Sumner, a Matanuska-Susitna Borough Assembly member, businessman, and Republican candidate for State House, as the group's number 2 contributor. Sumner said he recalls donating about $5,000. Sumner, speaking of the convention vote, said, "I'm not even absolutely decided on it. I just think, if you've got $1 million on one side, you need to have a fair hearing on both sides." He said, "I imagine it probably doesn't pass." The other leading contributors were identified as individuals, Tom Grissom and Wade Erickson. On the Vote No side, the largest contributor is the 1630 Fund, a national progressive nonprofit with a history of donating to a variety of causes. That fund, which has been labeled a dark money group because the donors to the fund are not publicized, gave $500,000 to Defend Our Constitution in July. The group said by email, "We chose to support Defend Our Constitution because an impressive bipartisan campaign working to protect democracy and civil rights reached out and made a compelling case about how important this effort was for all of their constituents in Alaska. Convention supporters have been critical of the donation, saying it represents outside interests seeking to influence Alaska politics. In a September 23rd forum, convention advocate Jim Minry of Alaska Family Action sidestepped questions about the goals of the convention in order to criticize the donation. Shukaro, on the other side of the questions, said that criticism is a distraction from the question that will be on the ballot. Shukaro said, "I'll just say that Convention Yes has continued to sort of distract from the basic issue, which is that the Constitutional Convention will create instability, have a chilling effect on the economy, and is unnecessary. We have a very clear-cut amendment process that worked and would encourage that to be the path Alaskans take to make targeted changes to our Constitution." He noted that the vote no cause includes Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and Libertarians. Among the groups in opposition are unions, economic development organizations, environmentalists, fishermen, and various local governments. NEA Alaska, the state's leading teachers union, is the number 2 donor to defend our Constitution. President of NEA Alaska, Tom Claymire, said there is a direct threat to public education if the Constitution is opened up. He said the threat there is because the Constitution guarantees that public money can only be spent on public education, that it can't be diverted to private interest, and if the old Constitution is opened up, we feel like there are advocates for voucher systems that would essentially defund our public education system. Among the financial supporters of Protect Our Rights is Planned Parenthood Alliance Advocates, which supports abortion rights in Alaska. The Alaska Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that the privacy clause of the state's constitution protects abortion rights. Some convention proponents have said that changing the Constitution at a convention is the first step to repealing abortion rights here. In a legislative candidate forum in Ketchikan, Republican and Democratic candidates alike said they would not personally vote in favor of a convention. Juneau Democratic Senator Jesse Keel, who says he worries about the capital being moved away from Juneau as a result of a Constitution convention, said not only no, but hell no. With less money available for ads, campaigners have focused on group events like that forum, which was hosted by Southeast Conference, a regional political and business organization. Shukaro said it's important to have a grassroots and grass tops political organization that convinces existing groups, and those groups talk to themselves and their members. He said, "I think that's very, very important as we head into Election Day." This story comes from Wesley Early of Alaska Public Media. One element of Anchorage Mayor Dave Bronson's emergency shelter plan was delayed by the Anchorage Assembly Tuesday night. Assembly members voted to postpone deciding on an ordinance that would allow for the use of portable classrooms for emergency shelters. Midtown Assembly member Felix Rivera suggested the postponement. He says members of Bronson's administration told Assembly members that several portable classrooms the city got for free from the Anchorage School District would not be usable this winter. Rivera said the earliest the administration believes it could be used is the winter of 23-24, so I don't feel like we are in a position where we're in a rush to approve this. After about a month of discussion, the Assembly agreed to an emergency shelter plan on Monday night that uses the Sullivan Arena as well as housing at the former Golden Lion Hotel. The portable shelters were part of a multi-tiered emergency sheltering plan from the mayor that included using the proposed East Anchorage Navigation Center and shelter and providing micro-grants to local nonprofits. The ordinance on portable buildings was postponed to an Assembly meeting on October 25th. Members Jamie Allard, Randy Solti, and Kevin Cross voted against postponing. Assembly members broadly supported accepting the portable buildings from the school district, noting that they could be used for non-sheltering purposes, such as storage. The Assembly also approved an ordinance that would prohibit the use of community recreation centers for emergency shelters. Bronson's shelter plan had initially included using the Spenard and Fairview recreation centers, but his administration later decided against using them after community pushback. 17 and a half minutes after 7 o'clock.
As the school year begins, the North Slope Borough School District has fantastic news for all North Slope students. North Slope Borough School District, in partnership with Aztec, is offering to upgrade your household's current internet connection in order to bring education content from the school district to all North Slope Borough School District students. This upgrade won't cost you anything. Over the next couple of months, households with North Slope Borough School District students residing in them will be able to access this limited free offer. Our school district believes in the power of education to develop and empower all communities on the North Slope. The North Slope Borough School District is very excited about this opportunity to bring educational content to your home to help students succeed. This free service is part of a government grant and available for a limited time. This is a voluntary upgrade and you are not required to access it. If you have a student attending the North Slope Borough School District and would like to take advantage of this offer, please call Aztec at 1-800-478-6409 for more information on how to get this free North Slope Borough School District service. You can stop by the Steam Dot Coffee Shop inside Stuckpuck for your favorite fresh-made coffee drink 7 days a week. And now you can join Steam Dot's paperless punch card program. Your coffee purchase will automatically be recorded in your Stuckpuck customer loyalty account. And once you buy 9 drinks, the 10th coffee drink is free. The paperless punch card program. It's on now at the Steam Dot Coffee Shop inside Stuckpuck. Open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to midnight, Sundays from 9 to 9.
Here's the weather forecast for Thursday, September 29th from the National Weather Service. A low-pressure system over the Kuskokwim Delta will weaken by 4 a.m. Friday and then dissipate. A weather front stretching from this low to Point Hope to Barter Island will weaken tonight. A low developing near Barter Island today will move to 200 nautical miles northeast of Barter Island by 4 p.m. on Friday and then continue moving east. Northern Arctic coast to be cloudy today with areas of fog and freezing fog, high near 34, northeast winds 20 to 25 miles an hour. Cloudy tonight, 30% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog and a low around 29, north winds around 20 miles an hour. Friday, cloudy with a 40% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog and high near 32, north winds around 20 miles an hour. Cloudy Friday night, areas of freezing fog, 40% chance of snow, a low around 27, north winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, 30% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, and high near 30. Chukchi Seacoast, including Point Hope, cloudy today with a high near 41, 20% chance of showers, north winds 20 to 25 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, areas of fog, a low around 35, north winds 25 to 30 miles an hour. Friday, mostly cloudy, areas of fog, a high near 40, north winds around 20 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy Friday night, a low around 32, northeast winds around 20 miles an hour. Mostly sunny on Saturday with a high near 38. Southwestern Arctic coast, including Point Lake, cloudy today, 10% chance of rain and snow, a high near 35, northeast winds around 15 miles an hour. Cloudy tonight, 30% chance of rain and snow, areas of fog, a low around 31, north winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Friday, cloudy, 30% chance of rain and snow, areas of fog and freezing fog, a high near 34, north winds around 15 miles an hour. Friday night, mostly cloudy, areas of fog and freezing fog, 30% chance of rain and snow, a low around 28, northeast winds around 15 miles an hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, 20% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, a high near 33. Northwestern Arctic coast, including Wainwright, cloudy today, 10% chance of showers, and a high near 35, northeast winds around 20 miles an hour. Tonight, cloudy, 30% chance of rain and snow, areas of freezing fog, a low around 30, north winds around 20 miles an hour. Friday, cloudy with areas of fog and freezing fog, 40% chance of rain and snow, a high near 34, north winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Friday night, cloudy, 30% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, around 27, north winds around 15 miles an hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, 20% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, and a high near 31. Central Beaufort Seacoast, today mostly cloudy, areas of fog and freezing fog, a high near 34, northeast winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, cloudy, 30% chance of snow, areas of fog and freezing fog, a low around 28, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Friday, cloudy, 40% chance of snow showers, a high near 33, west winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Cloudy Friday night, 40% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, a low around 26, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Saturday, cloudy, 40% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, a high near 30. Eastern Beaufort Seacoast, including Koktovik, today mostly cloudy with areas of fog and freezing fog, high near 36, east winds 25 to 30 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy tonight, areas of freezing fog, low around 30, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, becoming west 15 to 20 miles an hour after midnight. Mostly cloudy on Friday with a high near 34, west winds 25 to 30 miles an hour. Friday night, mostly cloudy, 20% chance of snow, a low around 29, west winds around 30 miles an hour. Saturday, cloudy with a 40% chance of snow and a high near 33. Northeast Brooks Range, today mostly cloudy, 40% chance of rain and snow, high near 34. Southeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Tonight, cloudy, 70% chance of snow, patchy freezing fog, a low around 23. South winds around 10 miles an hour. Cloudy on Friday, 70% chance of showers, a high near 30, west winds around 5 miles an hour. Friday night, cloudy, 70% chance of showers, a low around 22, southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming south after midnight. Cloudy on Saturday, 60% chance of snow and a high near 24. Northwest Brooks Range, including Anaktuvuk Pass, mostly cloudy today, 60% chance of snow, then rain showers. High near 39, south winds around 5 miles an hour. Tonight, 80% chance of rain, then snow, patchy freezing fog, a low around 27, calm winds becoming north around 5 miles an hour. Friday, cloudy, 70% chance of snow, patchy freezing fog, a high near 32, north winds around 5 miles an hour. Cloudy Friday night, 70% chance of snow, a low around 23, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Cloudy on Saturday, 70% chance of snow and a high near 27. Now the marine forecast issued at 6:05 a.m. this morning. Cape Thompson to Cape Beaufort, small craft advisory in effect through late this morning. Today, north winds 25 knots, seas to 7 feet with fog. Tonight, north winds 20 knots, seas to 6 feet with fog. Friday, north winds 15 knots, seas to 5 feet with fog. Friday night, northeast winds 20 knots, seas to 6 feet with fog. Saturday, northeast winds 25 knots, seas to 6 feet, fog and freezing spray. Cape Beaufort to Point Franklin, today, northeast winds 20 knots, seas to 6 feet with fog and freezing fog. Tonight and Friday, north winds 15 knots, seas to 5 feet, fog and freezing fog. Friday night and Saturday, northeast winds 20 knots, seas to 5 feet, freezing fog and freezing spray. Point Franklin to Cape Halkett, small craft advisory in effect through late this afternoon. Today, east winds 25 knots, seas to 8 feet, freezing fog, freezing spray. Tonight, north winds 20 knots, seas to 8 feet, freezing fog, freezing spray. Friday, north winds 15 knots, seas to 7 feet with freezing fog and freezing spray. Friday night, north winds 20 knots, seas to 5 feet, freezing fog and freezing spray. Saturday, north winds 15 knots, seas to 5 feet, freezing fog and freezing spray. Cape Halkett to Flaxman Island, small craft advisory in effect through late this afternoon. Today, east winds 30 knots, seas to 10 feet, freezing fog and fog. Tonight, north winds 20 knots, seas to 9 feet, freezing fog and freezing spray. Friday and Friday night, northwest winds 20 knots, seas 6 feet, subsiding to 5 feet with freezing fog. Saturday, north winds 15 knots, seas to 5 feet, freezing fog and freezing spray. Flaxman Island to Demarcation Point, gale warning in effect through this evening. Today's winds 35 knots, seas to 11 feet with fog and freezing fog. Tonight, west winds 25 knots, seas to 9 feet with fog and freezing fog. Friday and Friday night, west winds 25 knots, seas 7 feet, subsiding to 6 feet, fog and freezing fog. Saturday, northwest winds 15 knots, east to 6 feet, fog, and freezing spray. Once again, the forecast for the northern Arctic coast. Cloudy today with areas of fog and freezing fog and a high near 34. Northeast winds 20 to 25 miles an hour. Cloudy tonight, 30% chance of snow. Areas of freezing fog, a low around 29. North winds around 20 miles an hour. Friday, cloudy, 40% chance of snow. Areas of freezing fog, a high near 32. North winds around 20 miles an hour. Cloudy Friday night, 40% chance of snow. Areas of freezing fog, a low around 27. North winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, 30% chance of snow, areas of freezing fog, a high near 30.
One man was